I overheard a couple of women talking, not because I was eavesdropping, but because they obviously weren't concerned with anyone overhearing their conversation. It wasn't a private conversation. They were just talking. And one woman was saying how after her last relationship, where she was cheated on many times, that she was saving herself for a man who would want her and only her. And when I thought about that, I sympathized with the woman because she has an expectation of something to happen that is probably not going to happen unless she's going to deal with a man who's so old that he barely has enough libido to handle one woman. That is going to be her option. But if she's looking for a young, vibrant man who is in his prime and has options, who is desired, she's just not going to get that. And I realized that social media and mass media and YouTubers and novelists and you name it, they have all convinced women that this is something that they deserve. But the problem is you cannot convince yourself you deserve something that's impossible to attain. You simply can't. So now I'll get into the topic that I know is bantered back and forth all of the time between men and women, between men and men, between women and women. And that is, why do all men cheat? Now, let me clarify something, because I've heard men say men don't cheat, men can't cheat. And there may be a small bit of truth to that, but what we are talking about is a man who is in a situation where he has lied to a woman and told her that he is committed to her and only her, and they will be in a monogamous relationship, and he will not deal with other women. She is all he needs. If that man then sneaks around, creeps around like a child, and goes behind that woman's back and does the very things that he said he wouldn't do, yes, he is a cheater. He is a liar. He is a deceiver. He is not a man who deserves to stand up and call himself a true man. Because a true man stands on his own principles. He does what he wants to do, and he does not hide his actions. He doesn't throw a rock and bust a glass and then put his hand behind his back and say, where did that come from? So yes, if you're a man who is in that situation, you did cheat on a woman. Own up to it. Accept the fact that you were not the man you claimed to be. And that is not my opinion. That is a fact. Now that we've clarified that, let's talk about some of the reasons that all men in relationships cheat. The first thing that women must understand and accept is that you as a woman only prioritize your man when it's easy. In the beginning, it's easy. It's new. You two don't live together. You two don't occupy each other's space. You set certain times that you're going to meet, and so you can log it in on your schedule. You can plan it in your planner the day that you're going to be with your man. And you can do that for 24 hours, or even if it turns into a 36-hour thing where there's a sleepover. You can do that. It's easy to do that because then you get to go back to your life, the one you created for yourself to enjoy. You get to go back to your selfish life. But as things start to develop and become more serious, and you two start to spend more and more time together where it requires a little bit more effort, you're starting to feel the pressure of performing, of being pleasing to that man. And initially, it's no big deal because, as I said, the novelty is still there. Every step is a novel step. So when you meet someone and start dating, that's a novel step. You just met the guy, everything is novel. The novelty is there, the excitement is there, the draw is there, the learning experience, the excitement that comes from the learning experience is there. Once you get past that phase and you decide that you're going to date exclusively or any other step that you make on up to cohabitation. Cohabitation is the final step that you can make. If you're already cohabitating, marriage doesn't even bring any more excitement to the scenario. Cohabitation is the final step of every relationship. Relationships can go no further than cohabitation. Everything else is just window dressing. If you get engaged after you're cohabitated, that's just window dressing. If you get married after you're already cohabitating, it's just window dressing. It changes nothing. The scenario is already etched in stone. And at that point, that is when women start to prioritize and pedestalize their man less. think about this. There are always conversations in the media, on talk shows, online, you name it, where there is a problem in a relationship because the man wants more sex than the woman is willing to give. It is not because the woman doesn't like sex. It is because she does not prioritize sex. And not prioritizing sex means you don't prioritize the desires of your man. It's not that he wants sex so much. It's the fact that you don't prioritize the fact that that is a need he has that needs to be met. So a woman will say, I work and then I come home and then I deal with the children and then I have to, my mom is sick, I have to take care of my mom, and then, my friends, I don't want to lose my friends and lose myself in a relationship, and then when I get there, then I got to cook dinner, and then I'm just tired. I'm too tired to have sex. And they say that as if that is something that a man should understand. What you're saying is, I have a lot of things in my life and I prioritize them in order of importance. And you and your needs, your sexual needs, are at the very bottom of that list because I don't value your needs. That is what a woman is saying to her man in that particular situation. Now, a woman doesn't view it that way, but I am telling you that is how we view it as men. We are wondering why this woman that we've agreed to be in this situation with, this monogamous situation with, is not valuing the fact that monogamy means that you will take care of my needs so I won't have the urge to get them met anywhere else. Women don't understand men. That is the main problem. Women don't want to understand men. Women want men to understand them. Women want men to buy into their program and make whatever necessary adjustments are needed. But what you're doing is telling a man that those needs you have that can eventually become overwhelming, that can cause you to do strange things in order to have those needs met, aren't important. So that is one reason that a man will find another woman to meet his needs. Because for you, sex is a want. For a man, sex is a need. A man needs to be intimate with a woman he is in close quarters with. Intimacy becomes less of an issue when a man is a bachelor and he lives alone. When you're in your home alone, there are many things you can occupy your time with, but when there's a woman around you, an attractive woman around you every day of your life, in your bed with you, walking around, getting out of the shower with you nude, relaxed around you enough to where she shows you her body without even thinking about it, and you are sitting here as a man who hadn't had sex in over a month, and this woman does not even value that enough to say, let me see what I can do. Go get you some libido pills or do something. Start eating raw vegan. Do something. Do what you have to do in order to meet that man's needs, because you want that man's needs to be met. And you want them to be met by you, but you don't prioritize the needs. You see how illogical that is? And that is one of the main reasons that men end up cheating, because his needs are not being met. It is more than not having your needs met. Because if a woman truly wants to meet your needs, she will find out a way to meet them often enough where you can work with her on them. You can be like, okay, we don't, it's not like it used to be, but I don't have to go a month. I don't have to go 2 weeks. Men need sexual intimacy multiple times a week. And most women, once the novelty of the situation wears off, the emotions that make a woman's libido increase die down as the relationship goes on. When the novelty of the relationship wears off and it becomes routine, then her desire to be intimate is going to waver. It's going to die. It's going to wane. That is why all men say after marriage, it doesn't take long for sex to die. It dies because the game is over in a woman's mind. A woman doesn't want to get to the end of the game. Women enjoy the game. A woman enjoys the build-up, the meeting, the dating, the getting to know each other, the excitement, the falling in love, the growing together, the building together, the buying a house together, the having children together, to get into the marriage. Once the marriage happens, that is the end of the game for the woman. She has no more to gain from that game, so her interest wanes. It is not something that I fault women for. This is just how women are equipped. A woman would never be as excited about you in 15 years as she was when you met her. As the wedding day, she would never be that excited. You see, women don't want marriage as much as they want the wedding day. The wedding day is a personal declaration that this day is about me. I am the queen of the world today. And you'll give her that. But she won't even attempt to validate that you made the right decision by prioritizing the one thing that you truly need. There is only one thing that a man truly needs from a woman, and that is sexual intimacy. And if a woman cannot understand that, she is destined to be cheated on. She is destined to never have a man who's going to be faithful to her. Man, there are women who feel like you as a man should want sex less. You as a man should change your desire. How can you change your desire? You can't change your desire. You can't change your libido. You can't change your need to be intimate with your woman. But a woman will prefer you to do that than try to figure out a way that incites her. And you have these beta males out here, and even some women who will say, well, you got to do something to make it exciting. You got to do blah, blah. It doesn't matter what a man does if a woman does not prioritize his needs. And the majority of women in committed relationships do not prioritize the needs of their man. For one thing, women are so cocky and pompous that they feel like whatever they bring to the table outside of that should trump that. They don't understand that whatever you bring to the table is for you. You got your education for you so you can get a good job or start a business. That doesn't matter to me. If you eat right and do all that, you do that for yourself. You do that for health. Yeah, there are good qualities for you to have. They're positive qualities. I'm a plant-based man. If you're a plant-based woman, that bodes well for us. That's something that we have in common. That's something that we don't have to differentiate between what we're going to do. We can enjoy that together as a unit and build from that. That's a bond builder for us, a bond solidifier. If you like to work out, I work out all the time. That's another bond solidifier for us. It solidifies our bond. But these are things that you did on your own before we met. And if you don't do those things, we're not going to grow into a relationship anyway. So everything that you bring to the table, you bring those things to the table because those are things that you decided to build for yourself as a woman. This is the type of woman that you wanted to be. These are the things that you wanted to do for your life to enhance your own existence. None of these things are things that a man needs. The one thing a man needs from you as a woman is ready sex. He needs to be able to have intimacy with his woman whenever he needs to. You have to think about it. There's already 1 week or so out of a month that you're going to be unavailable. So out of the 3 weeks that are left, you mean to tell me that you can't jump on board and provide when every month you get a week break from sex? You automatically get a week break from sex every month. But the other 3 weeks, you should be on call for your man. You should be saying that, well, I have to come home. I have to make sure my man is situated. I have to make sure my children are situated. Then I have to, I have to cook and make sure everything's good. And then I have to take some time and go relax for myself. And then you should be telling your friends, I don't have time to hang out with my friends anymore, but they don't like you. You should be trying to fix your relationship with your friends while you don't hang out with them. You should be trying to fix your relationship with your family while you don't come around so often. You should be trying to fix your situation with your boss. How come you can't do no overtime no more like you used to? You should be prioritizing your man where he's at the top of your list and you're giving him what he needs. That is how you keep a man from cheating on you. And any woman who says, well, I give him sex all the time and, whatever he wants, I do it. You're convincing yourself that you do, but you probably don't. You can't put a man on a schedule for when you're going to be intimate. A man wants intimacy when his body says he wants intimacy. And so if you walk right in the house and the man is ready right then, you can't tell him, no, let's do it later on tonight in the bed. He's not aroused by the time you get in the bed. It's simply because women don't understand men. It doesn't work like that. If I wake up first thing in the morning and you coming out the shower and I want it right then, you can't tell me, well, no, I'll come home for lunch. When you come home for lunch, I'm busy doing something else. I don't want you like that when you come home for lunch. You have to be prepared to serve a man when he wants to be served. You can't just figure that you're so great and you're so sexy that you can just, play with his libido and turn it off and turn it on when you get ready, because then it stops responding to you at all. These are things that these cats out here that's telling you, man, if this is happening, he's wrong. It's always on demand. The woman is so great. They're not going to tell you this because they don't want you to know the honest truth. They want to sell you something. They want you to buy a book or a t-shirt. They want you to believe in what they're saying so much that you'll spend your money on whatever they're doing. I want to give you good game. I want to talk to you as an alpha male to ladies. I want you to understand what men really think, how men really feel. I don't want to cater to your ego and tell you what you want to hear so that you can look at men and say, I knew you weren't anything. I knew what you taught. No, I'm giving you game. And the game is that if you don't prioritize your man's sexual needs, and I don't mean give it to him when you think you want to, I mean prioritize it. Make it a priority in your life. Then you are going to be in a situation where every time you're in a committed relationship, every man you meet is going to cheat on you.
Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this real. And as always, alphas up, betas down. Peace.